The Middle East, a region synonymous with volatility, finds itself once again teetering on the brink. The long-simmering conflict between Israel and Hezbollah has flared anew, fueled by a series of covert operations and retaliatory strikes. What began as a shadowy intelligence war has escalated into open confrontation, raising fears of a wider conflagration that could engulf the entire region. The latest chapter in this decades-long struggle is a stark reminder of the ever-present potential for violence to erupt in this highly charged geopolitical landscape. While the international community scrambles to contain the situation, urging both sides to exercise restraint, the specter of war looms large, casting a long shadow over the fragile peace. At the heart of this recent escalation lies a series of audacious covert operations attributed to Israel. Targeting Hezbollah operatives deep within Lebanon, these clandestine missions have not only exposed the shadowy methods employed in this conflict, but also underscored the high stakes involved. The potential for miscalculation and the risk of unintended consequences are high, making the situation all the more perilous. As the world watches with bated breath, it is crucial to understand the historical context, the motivations of the key players, and the potential ramifications of this latest chapter in the Israel-Hezbollah conflict. The path ahead is fraught with danger, and the need for diplomacy has never been greater. Only through dialogue and a commitment to peaceful resolution can the cycle of violence be broken and a lasting peace achieved. To grasp the complexity of the current crisis, one must delve into the historical roots of the Israel-Hezbollah conflict. The origins of this bitter struggle can be traced back to the mid-20th century, intertwined with the broader Arab-Israeli conflict and its myriad complexities. The creation of the State of Israel in 1948, on land claimed by both Jews and Arabs, ignited a conflict that continues to this day. Hezbollah, meaning Party of God in Arabic, emerged in the 1980s in response to Israel's occupation of southern Lebanon. Fueled by an ideology that combines militant Shia Islam with fervent anti-Zionism, Hezbollah sought the withdrawal of Israeli forces from Lebanon and positioned itself as a staunch defender of Lebanese sovereignty against Israeli aggression. The group quickly gained notoriety for its guerrilla tactics and its effectiveness in challenging the Israeli military. Over the decades, Israel and Hezbollah have engaged in numerous rounds of fighting, marked by devastating wars in 1982, 2006, and a series of smaller-scale skirmishes. These conflicts have resulted in the loss of countless lives, widespread destruction, and an enduring legacy of mistrust and animosity. The latest escalation in the Israel-Hezbollah conflict was ignited by a covert Israeli operation that has been described as both audacious and controversial. The operation, details of which remain shrouded in secrecy, reportedly involved the use of rigged pagers to target high-ranking Hezbollah operatives. According to reports in the Israeli press, intelligence agents infiltrated Hezbollah's communication networks, planting booby-trapped pagers designed to detonate remotely. The operation, if confirmed, represents a significant escalation in Israel's shadow war against Hezbollah, demonstrating a willingness to operate deep within Lebanon and target the group's leadership. While the Israeli government has neither confirmed nor denied its involvement in the operation, security analysts have pointed to the sophistication and precision of the attacks as bearing the hallmarks of the Israeli intelligence services. The use of rigged pagers, a seemingly outdated technology, highlights the lengths to which both sides are willing to go in this high-stakes intelligence war. The operation, however, has raised serious questions about the potential for collateral damage and the risk of civilian casualties. The use of remote-controlled explosives in densely populated areas raises the specter of unintended victims and underscores the ethical dilemmas inherent in such covert operations. Section 4. Collateral damage, impact on Lebanon. While the covert operation may have targeted Hezbollah operatives, its impact has been felt far beyond the group's ranks. The attacks have sent shockwaves through Lebanon, a country already grappling with a multitude of crises, including a crippling economic meltdown, political instability, and the ongoing Syrian refugee crisis. The attacks have heightened anxieties within Lebanon, with many fearing that the country could once again become a battleground for the Israel-Hezbollah conflict. The Lebanese government, struggling to assert its authority and maintain stability, has condemned the attacks and called for restraint from both sides. The Lebanese people, weary of war and its devastating consequences, are left to bear the brunt of the escalating tensions. The attacks have sparked fears of economic repercussions, with concerns that tourism, a vital source of revenue for the struggling Lebanese economy, could be severely impacted. The covert operation, while perhaps achieving its tactical objectives, has undoubtedly exacerbated the humanitarian crisis in Lebanon. The attacks serve as a stark reminder that even limited military actions can have far-reaching consequences, particularly in a country as fragile and vulnerable as Lebanon. Section 5. Hezbollah's response, retaliation and resilience. In the aftermath of the covert operation, Hezbollah's response has been closely watched by regional and international observers. The group, known for its military prowess and its history of retaliating against Israeli attacks, has vowed to avenge the deaths of its operatives. Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah, in a televised address, condemned the attacks as a declaration of war and promised a calculated and decisive response. The group's response, however, has thus far been measured, reflecting a strategic calculus that seeks to avoid an all-out war while maintaining its image as a deterrent force. Hezbollah's military capabilities have grown significantly in recent years, largely due to its alliance with Iran and its involvement in the Syrian conflict. The group is believed to possess a vast arsenal of rockets, missiles, and sophisticated weaponry, capable of striking deep within Israeli territory. While Hezbollah has demonstrated its willingness to respond to Israeli aggression, the group is also aware of the potential costs of a full-scale conflict. Hezbollah's leadership must balance its desire for revenge with the need to protect its interests in Lebanon and avoid a war that could have devastating consequences for the country. Section 6. The regional tinderbox, Iran, Syria, and the risk of escalation. The escalating tensions between Israel and Hezbollah have sent ripples of anxiety throughout the region, raising fears of a wider conflagration that could draw in regional powers and further destabilize the already volatile Middle East. The involvement of Iran and Syria, key allies of Hezbollah, adds another layer of complexity to the conflict and raises the stakes considerably. Iran, Hezbollah's primary benefactor and a staunch opponent of Israel, has condemned the covert operation and pledged its unwavering support for the group. While Iran has shown no indication of direct military intervention, its financial and logistical support for Hezbollah remains crucial to the group's capabilities. Syria, still reeling from a decade-long civil war, has also condemned the attacks and warned of the potential for regional escalation. Syria's presence on the Golan Heights, a strategic plateau bordering Israel, adds another flashpoint to the already tense situation. The potential for miscalculation or unintended escalation is high, as any direct confrontation between Israel and Hezbollah could easily spiral into a wider regional conflict. The involvement of Iran and Syria, either directly or indirectly, would have far-reaching consequences, potentially igniting a conflagration that could engulf the entire Middle East. Section 7. International response calls for calm, limited action. The international community, alarmed by the escalating tensions between Israel and Hezbollah, has responded with a mix of condemnation, calls for restraint, and diplomatic efforts aimed at preventing a wider conflict. The United Nations, the United States, and the European Union have all expressed deep concern over the situation and urged both sides to exercise restraint. The UN Security Council, convened for an emergency session, issued a statement calling for maximum restraint and urging all parties to refrain from any action that could further escalate the situation. The statement, however, stopped short of condemning the covert operation, reflecting the deep divisions within the international community over the conflict. The United States, a staunch ally of Israel, has expressed its unwavering support for Israel's right to self-defense, while also urging all parties to avoid actions that could lead to further escalation. The US has also called on Hezbollah to cease its provocations and respect Lebanon's sovereignty. The European Union, meanwhile, has called on all parties to exercise maximum restraint and to avoid any further escalation. The EU has also stressed the importance of upholding international law and ensuring the protection of civilians. However, the international community's response has thus far been limited to diplomatic efforts and expressions of concern.